Hello, and before we get started into this video, I want to go ahead and give another warm thank you and shout out to the COLDEST water bottle for sponsoring this video and having me be a part of their Black Friday event, where you can use my code TOFS for 20% off your entire purchase, including their Black Friday sale. Please do not forget that. That's TLFS for the Life of Free Spirit for 20% off your entire purchase, including their sale, which is up to 60% off all of their merchandise on their website. So you can get up to 60% off on their coadies, the cozies, the COLDEST pillow, and so many other fun items. And I just want to know what you guys end up getting. And yeah, you guys know I have been loving COLDEST. In fact, they are one of my very first sponsors, if not the first. I think they were my very first sponsor on my channel. And the fact that I'm still working with them years later is just such an amazing opportunity. And once again, you guys can use my code TOFS, the Life of Free Spirit, pretty much, TLFS, for 20% off your entire purchase. And thanks to COLDEST Water Bottle and all you guys who've been rocking with me thus far. Let's go ahead and get into the video.
Y'all, you could probably tell by the title of this video that I'm about to be on one, because seriously, like, I am a bit disturbed. Like, while I've been, obviously engaging, in content that I enjoy, that has, inspired me and that has, made me really, reflect and look at things in a different perspective. And I love that. I have also been seeing something that is absolutely terrible in my opinion. And I don't even know much about these people. I don't really know where these people came from. And so I'm just going to go ahead and give the best breakdown that I can, but I'm going to be using the subject of Blueface, Krishan, and Jaden. And I'm also going to be using Erica Kane and her baby daddy. I don't really know her baby daddy's name. Honestly, every time I see him, I'm just like, whatever. This is all stuff that randomly popped up on my TikTok. Like, you know how the For You page will just throw random things out, right? I do know that Blueface did a song with Cardi B, Bust Down Tatiana, right? Whatever. He did a song with Cardi B. Like a few years back, right? And I guess he was an up and coming rapper then, but then he ended up doing like this like house reality show or whatever. And somehow eventually he got entangled with, Jade and Alexis, and then eventually got entangled with Christian Rock, which both women have his baby. And then Erica Kane, I think she's a TikToker / YouTuber who rose to a lot of success on TikTok. I mean, she installs her wigs. Sometimes she'll do her makeup and stuff on camera. Sometimes she won't. But she's mainly known for just like her wig installation and just like, doing looks and talking about her life, which that's cool. She blew up, but she has a very, very toxic, ongoing, off and on relationship with her baby daddy. And I think the recent scandal with Erica Kane and her baby daddy was that she went on vacation with one of her friends and was arguing with him on the phone while on vacation, while I think she was in Mexico with her friends, and her friend had to cut the live. And I saw this, and I'm just like, whatever. And so it's like, some TikTokers, they'll bring you like news and stuff, right? So they will show you like the tweets and all that involved, and they'll show you what like the audience is saying. But I also would read the comments. And the thing about the comment section for both of these relationships, and I can only imagine how worse it can get for, other toxic relationships that are publicized on the internet. The comments are like, Erica Kane should have swung back on the baby daddy. Oh, she need to get her lick in. And then I guess when Christian Rock fought Blueface or whatever, I don't even know when all these things occur. I don't have a date. I don't have a time. I don't even really have much of a receipt. So that's not this kind of a video, sis. This is more of a video where like, oh my God, I'm really concerned for not only society, but definitely the younger generation. Because I feel like Blueface, Krishan, and Jade and Alexis, and then this whole thing with Erica Kane and her baby daddy Marcus or whatever, I feel like these situations are being glorified. And of course, I'm going to sit here and speak about it because as a person who's really spoken out about toxic relationships, and look, I've learned my lessons too. I've not been perfect. I can definitely see how being in these situations can definitely bring the worst of a person out, and it's unfortunate. But to have it glorified on such a scale to where people are like, wishing that fights would occur, or, you know, trying to predict how other fights are going to end up, or what's going to happen next, or all this, or almost like pitting people against each other, like how so many people are pitting against Krishan and Jaden against each other because I guess Blueface proposed to Jaden. And I saw so many people in the comments saying, well, Jaden won. No, Krishan won because she got the baby and left. And Krishan has been on live breaking down about Blueface numerous times. I do not follow any of these people. If I see anything, it's on TikTok and it's for a few minutes because I refuse to fill up my day with mess. Because like I say, that energy feeds. But I want to get my thoughts because this is so normalized. And it's like, I understand that my generation has its own fair share of mess too, right? But see, my generation, we come from reality TV, right? Like where you know that some things are exaggerated, some scenarios are real, but then, you know, they're deeply dramatized. A lot of these shows had a script. Like we come from like the I Love New York days. We come from, you know, Housewives days, you know, Rock of Love days, Flavor Flav, Flavor of Love days, Love and Hip Hop, okay, and Basketball Wives and all that. Like, you know, obviously, like how I talk about Cardi B all the time. Obviously, I watched her when she got off Instagram. Well, not off of Instagram, but she went from Instagram to Love and Hip Hop as she evolved in her career, right? But I feel like my generation, we always knew that there were aspects of these shows that were fake. And we also didn't have much social media. I mean, you could say MySpace, you could say Facebook to an extent, but Facebook was not nearly as overly developed as it is now. Like Facebook was still very basic. Like back during those days, like it was still very much like, you know, trying to catch up with friends or find, you know, grammar school friends that you had went to school with or whatever, just finding friends and just trying to, you know, engage with them, not necessarily about topics and stuff. Like how I feel like Facebook and all social media platforms now are all trying to be its own mini TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube and IG all in one. Like so many social media platforms now are trying to be multimedia platforms to make it more convenient for, you know, their consumers and their users or whatever, which that's whatever. But stuff was not nearly as overly developed as it is now, and stuff was not overly publicized or blown out of proportion as it is now. And it's almost like social media is like the new reality TV, to where people will clip stuff and spin narratives and then get folks involved. And then the comments is like, you know, the general audience, but now people are feeling more entitled and more involved and just wanting to be a part of the story and the plot. Like, I mean, I don't know what to say or think. Like, I feel like if anybody's around my age, or maybe a little bit older, we knew that stuff was fake, right? Like, we knew that. Like, we knew that reality shows were fake to somewhat of an extent. Like, a lot of them had scripts. It was all about, like, how you could act. That's why a lot of people who did reality TV, they went off into acting and got small roles. Or even they started acting more in their music videos where they had, like, you know, like little scenes or whatever, just, like, playing with their craft. I feel like people knew this, but I guess not. I understand that, you know, you can be impressionable when you know, watch social media or engage in media and stuff. But, like, I thought that we knew that this stuff was fake, right? I just really don't know what to think about it. But it concerns me for the younger generation, of course, only because I do not like how when I do see TikTok, like obviously when I see people covering this or whatever, I'm seeing people who are so much younger than me, if not 10, probably 15 years younger than me, which would make them about, you know, 17, 18. They look like kids covering this stuff and weighing in on the Blueface and the, you know, Krishan and the Jaden Alexis, you know, stuff. And some of the kids, you know, are seeing through it like, oh, well, this is how you know Blueface don't love either one of them, and that's all right to an extent. But what disturbs me is when I see the younger kids and they're talking about, oh, well, I think Krishan should go live. and she need to blast Jaden and tell us more stuff that she know about Jaden, or vice versa, because people are literally like rooting and pitting these women against each other, where I think both women should honestly take more pride in respecting themselves and actually leave. And Blueface is garbage. I don't care how successful or how much money. Does he even pay child support? He strikes me as the type of dude that don't even pay child support. And that is an assumption, okay? Allegedly, all right? In my opinion, he doesn't pay child support. He looks... He like, you know how... You guys know how it was when we were growing up, right? And especially those of you who have lived with grandparents or live with older relatives, and you know, you would try to show them a boy that you're interested in, or a boy that you're talking to, or you know, some guy even on the TV or whatever that you might think is cute, and then the relative says he looked like he ain't shit. That's what I was like. That's what I was about to say, and I'm just like, is nobody sitting here telling these girls today that he literally looks like the red flag, like. And hey, I understand it, you know, as a recovering red flaggy girl myself, I get it, you know, but you get to a point where you can just kind of, no, this is probably not going to be the one to really treat me well, provide for me in the way I need to, et cetera, et cetera. But then it's like, it's weird too, because he has music with these women and they've done music videos with them. And Jaden has said herself that, oh, I wouldn't be so successful without him. And even Krishan has said, oh, well, he launched my career and I'm literally here because of him. And I am who I am because of him. But then when you look at older photos of Krishan from when she used to, you know, I guess she used to be an athlete, or she used to run track or whatever. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She looked like she was doing just fine without him. She sure as hell wasn't missing no teeth. Okay. So how did this man make and shape you for who you are today, which is, you know, a celebrity with a lot of mess attached to your name? She has more success independently of him than with him at all, in my opinion. And I'm not seeing the hype. I'm like, and I don't like how people like want to keep this going. And I feel like the reason why people engage so heavily in the comments and on Twitter, and even with their tweets and all that stuff, because you know Blueface is always tweeting and all that. And Blueface, isn't he supposed to be like, if not in jail, like isn't he facing some court time or whatever right now, because he you know improperly exposed, you know, Krishan's newborn, like his son, and was talking all kinds of mess about the son? Did that happen? I don't know enough, because I don't follow. I just see this as something that's being heavily, overly publicized and glorified, and something that just needs to stop. And on the subject of people trying to keep it going and being overly attached and involved, sometimes I feel like they want these people to stay in these toxic relationships because they want their entertainment in this sick form, you know. And as a person who I've endured, you know, my fair share of stuff, sometimes I wondered that too, because there were things that were spoken about myself, you know, about situations that I've been in, and it was like, no, it was nothing like that. Like, even with me giving out all the facts and everything, like, people were trying to spin it, and I think that's because people wanted to see mess continue, right? Like, it's one thing if you would never go back to a person and you're standing solid on that, but if you have people who are saying, oh, you would run back, and you ought to run back, and you know you're gonna run back soon, it's like, are you saying that because you want to see, you know, more mess? And that's kind of what it's striking me as with, you know, the Krishan, Jaden, and Blueface thing, right? And then you have the subject of Erica Kane, which her story, honestly, for me, is a little bit more sad. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been tempted to follow her, but I'm trying my best, because as a person who's just, you know, I'm on a different path, so I'm trying to watch what I consume. I'm definitely, like, I know I just told y'all about that, like, your diet is what you watch, consume, and not. And even as I'm growing and developing as a person, I'm definitely trying to live by what I preach. Do you feel me? Because I have seen it too much, and I definitely do believe that energy feeds. The only reason I have not followed her is because I don't want that energy to feed, because I do feel like I empathize with her, but that's when I need to cut it off because I don't know her, right? But Erica Kane's situation, in my opinion, is a lot more. It's more sad than anything, because she talks about how when she was pregnant with her baby daddy's child, he put his hands on her when she was pregnant. They've had a very tumultuous relationship, in and out of jail or police custody. Erica Kane is a person who she has that generational trauma, and she's trying to break those generational curses and cycles, and it's been hard for her. The girl clearly has a knack for just being funny, and she is a bit of a light, but she's talked herself about how her grandma was on food stamps, her mama was on food stamps, and now she knows what it's like to be on food stamps, and and I'm just like, girl, you over here with like 2 million followers on TikTok, and you still like aiming low, right? And it's definitely the guy's fault, or whatever her baby daddy's name is, has definitely drug her down. And it's crazy because, Erica, to me, she has what it takes to make a full career out of social media, if that's what she wants to do. But she's also held down other jobs. And I know that when you review products and stuff, some of them want you to review their product for free, but she doesn't always have to review them for free. She can start working with companies that pay her at least a little something, to publicize or whatever on her platform. I don't know how she does her business, but to me, she seems like she has a lot of potential. And to see that potential squandered on this day in, day out internet drama that she has going back and forth with her baby daddy and having her friends get involved. And, you hear the kids screaming in the background sometimes when they're arguing and fighting. And there's been times where she's, talking about him, and he might have just left, but then he'll come back in, he'll interrupt the live stream, and he's barging in her room and waving her phone, and he's losing his mind. One time he did his own live stream on his own TikTok, and he took his shirt off and like threw his shirt at the phone and was like banging on his chest, like all. And I'm just like, at some point, I understand if these creators and these people who live these toxic lifestyles won't change. I understand they won't change. But as a viewer, as an audience member, you have to stop feeding it. Because I almost wonder, like, if they didn't have the same amount of people watching, would they still act the same? Would they still be carrying on the way they are? Or if they didn't think that they had to publicize as much as they are, or as much as they do, if it would continue? Because at some point, the cycle has to stop. And I think that these are toxic cycles that people are feeding into, and they're not paying much mind about it. And it's sad because they don't understand what they're feeding into, if that makes sense. They don't understand that they're feeding into a lot of stereotypes. They're feeding into abuse stories. They're feeding into pitting women against each other over a man. Generational trauma, like, never evolving, never, making out of where you came from and doing better for yourself. Just constantly low vibrational. They're feeding into this low vibrational mess, and it's being glorified all over social media. And I can't stand it when I see people like literally like in the comments. And it's so crazy because like even with Erica Kane stuff, the one live where, if I can find it, I'll get it for you guys. The one live where Erica Kane's friend turned it off because like she was like just talking she was oversharing way too much and just getting way too deep with the baby daddy on live stream. Literally, some people in the comments were like, she'll be back, she'll come right back, she always comes back to us. And I'm just like, oh, no. Because now the audience feels that ownership and that entitlement to her life because she's overshared so much, and the barriers of real life and online have been crossed, and that does nothing but make things even messier for you. Like, and the fact that this is being normalized to some extent, I don't like it. And I don't know it's so crazy. In the same world, in the same, era where, women are learning to embrace their femininity and to, live a softer life and raising their standards to attract a better partner, someone who's going to actually provide and care for them and allow them to live the life they want or deserve, or just to be comfortable, honestly. Because, honestly, some women just want comfort. I just want to be comfortable. I really don't I take care of myself and I'm good. But, having a partner that allows me to make my life easier is definitely beneficial. But it's so crazy that we live in this same era where you have one portion of women and people who are trying to make their lives better and softer and more enriching and raising their standards and always striving for better. But then you have this other side that's like building up chaos and toxicity and engaging in it and wanting it to grow. It's just like, it's very divisive. And it's like, you got to be very careful as to what you give your energy to, honestly. Like, I think that everything comes down to that. And I hope that people know that this is not normal. This is not the goal. Like, Blueface and Krishan and Jaden are not goals. Jaden didn't win anything. Krishan did not win anything, in my opinion. Both women need to understand that they are the prize in their own right and do better than Blueface. Blueface obviously gets off with the back and forth between both women. And the fact that both of them know that he messes around with both of them from time to time, like consecutively, is disgusting. Some things are not meant for me to understand. I think it's just so unfortunate. You guys go ahead and let me know what you all thought about this video. What do you guys think about the glorification of toxic relationships on social media? Like, what do you guys think about all this? It's a shame. It truly is. I'll see you guys in the next one.